Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Mancunian way. I'm still waiting on LB and someone else, but we have only got till 1:30. So when we sort my camera out, I thought I'd do some of those while waiting for people to come in, and then we'll get rolling. Don't forget, this is the last one until Tuesday, I think it's 3rd of June. I'm back. Double check. It's the last one anyway for a little while I go and have a little break. 3rd of June, we're back. Tuesday the 3rd of June. So there you go. Massive big up to everyone. Mingy Wong's in the building. Hello. Hello, FIFA. By the way, massive thank you again for last night. You, sir, are a superstar. I've got a hard stop at literally 1:30. I'm going for my haircut, as you know. So 1:30, I've got to leave the building. Let's have a look. Video. EJ should put Alan's mind at rest. The player looks fine. Yeah, he did. The players were fine, Kathy. They were. Hope we're all doing well. No, I hope you're all doing well, mate. Give this huge thumbs up for the stream. Thank you very much, mate. There's been no update about Morgan's right coming to City, so it will take a while to know if he is the KDB replacement. There isn't going to be a KDB replacement, mate. We need to come away from this KDB replacement stuff. It's not going to happen. I think we're just going to adjust slightly the way we play. So how much do we have to pay for Reijnders? I'm guessing. I don't know the exact amount. I'm probably going to guess around about 40, 50-ish. 40, 50-ish, roughly. I'm going to say. I suppose we'll see on that one as we're moving along. What is Diaz wearing these days? Listen, guys, don't worry about these fashion, bloody hell. The multi-millionaires. Listen, if I was a millionaire, listen, I dress like a tit and I'm not a millionaire. But there you go. But you all notice who the partners and the wives were all wearing, though, you dirty buggers. Kathy Jack spending his wages on haircuts and Gucci clothing. We spend 100 million, 300k a week for a model nowadays. Waiting on LB. I still love him for what he achieved as members of the show. We don't know what has gone on. Martin, like buses, 3 come at once. Have a great stream. Thank you, Fee. By the way, loving the new design. Tweet kicks. Obviously, we don't want to copyright anything there. Afternoon, alternative facts. Hope you're well. CM City's in the building. Cade's with us. Twitter DMs are not working. Colin, afternoon. Simo Subs, thank you very much. As by the way, Simo Subs has gifted 5 channel memberships. So big up, Simo Subs in the building. Say a massive thank you. Say hello to him. And if you have got one, say thank you. Great channel, thank you, Buxton. Appreciate that, mate. Total Sports Talk. Waffles for lunch, not bad. No, they're not. We need to get you back on at some point, mate. As asked, Kathy said he couldn't add to his game. We've been learning about skills from Doku. Yep. Good afternoon. Let's get in some waffle. So, Martin, are you going to go to Fulham? No, I'm not going to Fulham. My brother's going because I'm looking after my dad. Oh, he's here.
All right.
Time to call this.
It's listen, mate, it's tough.
You message me. He delays, by the way, chat. He messages me. Can we delay till 12:15? And it's still 11 minutes over that.
Yeah, I know. It's hard planning the day, you know. It's hard to plan day, you know. It is hard to plan.
It's hard to roll out bed and make sure you're on time. So, mate, good afternoon. Ronald. Martin will only be off camera for 10 minutes, folks. Just a buzz cut. Cheeky bastard. Yeah, I'm saying I've got a hard stop at H1, as you know, because I'm going for a holiday trim.
Oh, holiday, jealous, man. Can't
holiday
lie.
Trim.
Although, to be fair, I am going. I'm going to Belfast next week, so
yeah, have a nice time.
Looking forward to that. I think a few pints. Be nice.
Good man. Oh, Elliot's here as well. Good afternoon, Elliot.
Afternoon, lads.
Oh.
Yeah, you?
All good, man. All good.
Right. Let's get into it then. I mean, where do you want to start? Should we start with Christmas presents? Should we start with Rudolph?
Yeah. I think this is going to get done next week.
Are you happy with it, though?
Yeah, I am. From what I've seen, I think he looks like a typical sort of Pep player. He reminds me of a taller version of Gundogan with slightly different attributes, but if we start off at a base, I think he looks like a taller version of Gundogan. Very good at carrying the ball. I think he's going to be able to put balls in deep for Haaland over the top, in front of goal. I saw his goal against Inter Milan. Very impressed with his finish. So I think it's a good signing. Do you know what I mean? And it's if you believe the price, I think the price looks quite good, to be fair. You know what I mean? If you think we've wasted so much money over recent years on players, I think this is one that looks like a good player at a good price. And I think he comes in and instantly improves our team. So, yeah, I think this is pretty much a done deal, to be honest with you. And I think this is going to get done next week. And then, obviously, the official window opens the week after. So I think it'll probably be done next week. And then it'll get announced probably first or second day of the actual transfer window being open. So, yeah, I think it's a good signing, me. I rate it. I like it, man.
Okay. Elliot?
Yeah, agree, really. I think he's a player what we need, you know what I mean? Whether Gundogan leaves this summer or not, obviously that's another debate, I suppose. But I think, like LB said, he's sort of in the same kind of mould as like a Gundogan. Obviously, we never replaced Gundogan when obviously he left, which I think probably is the reason why we brought him back. We're never replacing him. But yeah, be interested to see where he plays. Let's say, especially this new system at the minute, with obviously what we were discussing last night, Martin, on the space and stuff. With, like you said, where does he sort of fit in this sort of diamond? Is he going to be on the right side of it? Is he going to be on the left side of it, or
left? I think he'll be on the left.
I thought
that's when I've watched AC Milan. He's been on the left-hand side of the midfield.
Yeah, especially with the if we're going down like the wing back sort of route, which I think, like I said, I think we all probably agree that that's probably what we should be looking at doing at the minute with how it's going.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think he's got one thing I do really like about him. I think he's got really good, like, he can get up and down the pitch very well. I wouldn't say his biggest quality is his threat and goal, but then again, I suppose in a way, who else, like LB said there, who else could you get us in that sort of Gundogan mould like that nowadays? Really, apart from maybe like
The thing is, well, yeah, he doesn't need to be like a major threat. We just need some output from him across the season. So, for example, I'm looking at his numbers this year, right? He's got 15 goals in all competition. If he can get me 15 goals next year, absolutely fantastic. I don't need him to be getting 20 goals. I don't need him to be getting 25 goals, yeah, because I've got Haaland, I've got Marmoush, Gibbs White should be chipping in, Rodri will chip in. I just need something. I need. If he can get me double-figure goals next year, I'd be more than happy with that right now.
He's a present as well, right? That's the other thing. I think, like I say, he's a bit. He's not like, you know what I mean. He's a bit of a. He has that sort of aura, I suppose, when he steps on the pitch. Where I guess that's where Milan's. I guess probably where Milan's weakness will be if he leaves. Like you said, I think if you ask a lot of Milan fans at the minute, who the player they don't want to probably let go of, I would imagine he's very high up there with who they don't want to go. But yeah, it'd be a good signing. There's, like you said, LB, especially with the price, what's being rumoured. That'd be a really good signing, to be fair.
Yeah. Everyone seems to be getting a bit worried about this Liverpool Wirtz stuff. I think you need to accept he didn't want to come and say.
It is what it is.
Like,
bro,
he just said no thanks. Move on.
It is what it is. If it goes Liverpool, we have to hold the L.
Florian Wirtz is not the end of the world for us, but we're not closing the shop.
No, but but I also we can't also sit here and be like it's not an L. Like, it is an L. It is.
But how's it an L? You can't force a player to cut.
No, it's an L that we've not got him.
You just change it up.
No, I agree. But factually speaking, we would have been better with Wirtz in the City team next year.
Well, of course we would have.
So it is an L.
Personally speaking, I think we'd have been better with Harry Kane and Erling Haaland. But hey, there we go.
Well, I think I actually previously said that before we signed Haaland as well.
So I'm not going to sit here and go, that's no shade on Haaland, by the way. But
it is what it is, isn't it? No, but if we get Reijnders in.
Yeah,
get Reijnders in.
Us, LB, yeah, you said that about us, you remember? So
yeah, if you get Reijnders in, get Morgan Gibbs White in. I think for me the question then becomes: do you need a third midfielder? And the answer to that, for me, lies 100% on what happens with Phil Foden. If we can get Phil Foden back to his best, yeah, I think you'll be fine with Gibbs White, Reijnders, and everybody else you've currently got. If Foden doesn't get back to his best and we go into next season, he keeps playing like he has done this year, I think we're going to be light.
Did you see the interview with
Phil? Let me ask.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Let me ask you both a question then, yeah. So you just said that about Foden, LB. You just brought Foden up about getting back to his best, yeah. Where would Foden have played in this current system if this goes into next season? Where would he have played if Wirtz would come in?
I think he would have had Wirtz off the. Have you seen Nobbins' thing? Nobbins' tweet with the team.
I don't think I have. No, I don't. I'm not sure.
Put it up on screen, Martin. Will you want this on screen for me?
No, I'm not seeing it because the X is playing silly buggers with me this
Yeah, pull that up. Pull that up, Martin. So this is I think what we might see next season. So you'd have essentially. I don't think we would have got Wirtz. Sorry, I don't think we would have got Morgan Gibbs White as if we got Wirtz. I think the way it's panned out now is that Gibbs White was an alternative. I think Reijnders was the one that we was always getting, and I think Gibbs White was actually, people were saying we was getting Gibbs White, and I don't think that was ever the case. I think it was one or the other. So I think basically you would have seen Wirtz and Foden. Basically, it'd be in that situation there with Gibbs White and Foden. I think that's where you would have seen. I actually think, and I've said this about a month ago, I actually think our wingers, if Pep goes the way I think he might go and get these fullbacks in, I think our wingers could be. I think Bob actually out of the three will be the one that plays the most because I think he's more adapted to play.
He's the most peppified.
Yeah, he's the most peppified, but he's also the more he's the one out of the three that is more easily can play in field. I've seen him do it for the academy, whereas Doku and Savio are more winger. So. I think, I like this system. I think that system there gives us real dominance in midfield. It gives us power in midfield. You've got some creativity there, but these fullbacks for me, like, I honestly think we've got to get these fullbacks right. We've got to make sure we get.
So who's your fullbacks? And when you say right,
can I just speak on the midfield again? Because obviously this is the first time I've seen this shit. So
yeah,
there's only a bit of a problem though with this LB. And I know you're not like this, but where's the likes of Nico G and Bernardo fitting into this system?
Oh, Nico G's not a starting player for Manchester City. No chance. Absolutely no chance going forward. I'd be absolutely stunned if Nico Gonzalez is a starting player week in, week out for Man City going forward. But he'll be bench.
I need to get a new goalkeeper.
Bernardo Silva.
There's rumours on Edison, by the way, that he's going to potentially stay now.
I'll be buzzing if he stays. Absolutely buzzing.
What for 12 months?
No.
Well, I was coming to that. That was the caveat of a 12-month kid.
Well, if he stays, for me, if he stays, it's because he wants to stay. So therefore, sign a new contract. I don't think he's going to stay to leave on a free. I think he'll stay if he decides that actually don't want to go Saudi. Let's be honest. The only place Edison's going right now is Saudi Arabia. That's it. So it's either he wants to go Saudi, in which case, why is he waiting to go on a free to go now, or he's going to stay and then sign a new contract? I hope he stays, man. But yeah, I like that system. I think it's class. I like it. But you got to get fullback.
I like
that Ait-Nouri in me. I've been saying about this Ait-Nouri, man. I think he could be the one for us.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I don't mind that.
It's been rejected. But you know, City like their opening bids, they go in at a really stupid low offer, don't they?
But obviously, I like we've had this conversation before, Martin. But City, unfortunately, this year are not in a strong negotiating position because of where we've been this year and the squad depletion. So I think City, obviously a little bit of negotiation here or there, whatever. But ultimately, we're just gonna have to pay what we need to pay because we're not in a strong position. When you're in a strong position and your squad's just won a treble, you can go in there into the negotiations with the chest out and say we'll pay what we want to pay, mate. We don't need to get on our knees. But the facts is, right now, we do need to just go out and get these players in. So
yeah, City taxing it. That's what we've caused ourselves.
Can you imagine, though, Elliot? Yeah, if we had Ait-Nouri on the left and Munoz on the right there, I think that'd be class, mate.
Well, it sounds like this Wesley fella, doesn't it? To be fair, LB, but I wouldn't mind that. Also, the other thing is, is Núñez a rotational? Is he going to be a rotational player?
Yeah, he's going to be a rotational player. But I think he should stay. I said this on my stream yesterday. I think Núñez is the way he's performed. He deserves to stay, but rotational only. He makes far too many mistakes, man. That cost us goals to start. But yeah, keep him as a squad rotator. I'm happy with that. Also, you never know if he goes with this system where you've got the four. You got basically a box midfield of Foden, Rodri, Reijnders, Morgan, Gibbs, White, and obviously Marmoush. You could potentially play Núñez further up where Morgan, Gibbs, White is. The problem is with Núñez is Pep don't trust him on the ball because he loses the ball far too much, which is facts. But if you have him in that Morgan, Gibbs, White position, I'm talking like last 20 minutes of the game, Carabao Cup, when we need to rotate, he might actually get some minutes in that further advanced position. But yeah, this would be sick. Obviously, I don't know much about.
I think this is what we're going to end up with. I think this is where we're going to end up.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Like, you know what I mean?
Listen, I've not seen a lot of Wesley. I've only seen YouTube, highlights, which I know is hard, and he just looks like the Brazilian Kyle Walker. Absolutely rapid, and I mean rapid.
But so what's the bid? What's been reportedly turned down from? What?
We've offered 30 odd. They want 40 odd.
Yeah, so they'll get done at 35.
Which I think he'll get done with appearance bonuses. I think they'll go in and got my alarms going off.
It just needs to not be too much, though, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Obviously, City are gonna have a cut-off point. So I'm just wondering as to what Wolves would. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, could you do a McAtee in that deal?
It also depends on this Cambiasso thing, because we was led to believe that this was done and dusted. So City now pulled out of Cambiasso because we're not getting 3 fullbacks. We're not going to get 3 fullbacks at all. We're only going to get 2 max. So,
apparently, there's concerns on his injury record.
Fair dues. If his injury record stinks, then yeah, don't sign him.
So I don't know.
I'm just wondering. To be honest, if Pep's going to take Nunes out.
Nunes out. What do you mean? Like,
Well,
out the squad or
yeah,
out the
yeah.
I wouldn't get rid of Nunes. I would not get rid of Nunes. He's a player that can play multiple positions. He's a decent player and he's got a decent injury record. So I would not be selling him at all. There's more important players that you need to get rid of than Matheus Nunes right now. And he deserves to stay. We've got to reward players that have played well.
Are you on about Nunes?
Yeah.
1,000% deserves to be here. 1,000%. Not only to piss Alan off, because it'd be the funniest thing in the world if he got a contract extension. But the simple fact is, the guy's has been a very good right wing back. Yeah, he's definitely had his bozo moments, and I would like to get them out of his game somehow. It's like last Tuesday night. He was great up until the last minute of the game. But to me, I don't think.
What's that going to do for Nunes' confidence, though, Martin? If you're saying these errors, what he's making, and I hear what LB's saying about it. If you drop Nunes from that starting 11 and then he becomes a rotational player, is that going to help his confidence or hamper it?
Well, I can only go off evidence. Well,
I like him as a squad rotational player. By the way, I will just say that.
Did he come back from the derby stronger earlier?
Yes, but he was almost back in the team straight away after that. What I'm saying is, if you've got an actual right,
for 2 or 3 games.
No. What I'm saying is, if you've got an actual right back, I mean, you're not classing, like LB's just said, if you're not classing other people playing in these positions. So realistically, you could use an actual winger in where it says right back. Well, obviously it says doing right back on this thing. You could actually use a winger against the I don't know, let's just say a Burnley for argument's sake, who'll just come up. If you're not going to be playing Nunes in these games, what is that going to do for his confidence?
Yeah, but at the same time, bro, it's like, just freaking, it is what it is, isn't it? Like, he's not good enough to start week in, week out because of the errors. So we either get rid of him or he's squad rotational. And if he's squad rotational, he's only going to be playing when we've got injuries or, whatever. Like, I just think don't get rid of him. I think there's worse players to get rid of. You've got to get rid of worse players. You don't get rid of, one of your better players.
Are you thinking LB to get rid of? Because I think I've had this discussion with you before about Bernardo, where I sort of.
Well, by the way, LB, I know you did this the other night before you answer that. With Reijnders, we have now 29 players.
Yeah, no, I've
only want to take it down to roughly 22.
Are you including KDB in that, Martin, or has KDB gone?
No, KDB's in it, but I'm not including Walker, Phillips, or anyone like that. So I'm at 29, so you got to get rid of 7 now.
I got rid of my 7 yesterday. I'll bring it up now, one sec.
No, but you're at 22, and you've only bought Reijnders.
What? No, I've done my full sell list. My full sell.
Full sell list. By the way, just while you'll do that, super chat from Amar. Thank you for the £5, mate. Appreciate it. Keeping Nunes shows where this club is, rewarding mediocrity. Year on year, we've steadily reduced the quality in the side. Buying Morgan Gibbs-White is another example. Okay.
Well, I agree that Nunes is, he would not have been in the squad in the treble year, but that is just the facts of where we're at, Matt. Like, this squad is nowhere near as good as it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Because
I think we had a freak of a squad 2 or 3 years ago that I don't think we'll get.
Yeah, but this is a factually correct statement. Like, but the fact is though, Amar, yeah, there are worse players in this squad that we need to get rid of than Nunes.
Facts.
So I agree. In an ideal world, I don't think Nunes should be at this football club. Yeah, I agree with that because I don't think he's good enough. However, there are worse players at this football club that shouldn't be here. So for me, you've got to hit the main one. So for me, on the sell list, I've got John Stones, Vita Hayes loan, Walker, KDB, Grealish loan, Gundogan, Kovacic, McAtee, Perone, Bernardo, Rico Lewis. I am open to the idea of keeping Bernardo and loaning out Echeverri, but that's the only one swap that I'd be willing to do. Everything else is set in stone for me.
Yeah, by the way, there are some breaking quotes coming out. Just to confirm, Kyle Walker will not join City at the FIFA Club World Cup, confirms Pep, so that tells you where he is. Phil Foden, in principle. Phil Foden will come to America, in principle. that's telling me there's going to be something where he suddenly drops out and goes bye-bye.
Yeah.
I think Phil's going to get the summer off. Sounds like, which will please everyone, especially with his ligament damage and other stuff that's going on. Rodri will not start City against Fulham. He's not ready, says Pep. On Erling Haaland, every day is getting better, and on Sunday he's going to help us qualify for the UCL. Pep Guardiola on Phil Foden's injury. It's true that he's been suffering for a long time this season. Pep on threatening to quit. I was laughing when I said it. I'm not going to quit, but the expression is the same. I don't want players at home with the family when the team is playing. And I've always said that's what the issue is. I don't think he wants to leave 5 or 6 players at home sat on the backside staring at the TV.
Yeah, facts. I understand that.
I think it's a big difference between you're on the bench today and you go home.
Yeah, no, 100%. But that's why you've got to make some tough calls. I think some of our fans don't realise it, man. You know what I mean? Like, they don't get it. Some of them, like, go through the squad, man. You know what I mean? If you buy 5 players, which I think we're going to buy 5, you got to get rid of a lot of players.
Of course you do. Spot on.
And you're going to have to make difficult decisions. People are there going on my video saying, well, no way you'd sell him. No way you'd sell him. I say, do it yourself then. Do the exercise yourself and get the squad down to 23 without selling someone that you don't really want to sell. You can't do it.
This is not easy.
It's not easy. You know what I mean? But I don't think people have done the maths, done the exercise.
I'm going to be straight and people like this. I think if a suitable offer came in for Johnny Doku, I think Pep would go, yeah, see ya.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
I think he'd do it over I think he'd do it over Jack. I think the only probably think Savio's safe because it's his first year, and it's not a hate on Doku.
He wouldn't do it over Jack Grealish.
I did Jack's gone, mate. You know that.
Jack's gone. So he wouldn't sell him over Jack.
And it's no hate on Doku. I just don't think Doku suits our style moving forward. And I don't want to see Doku be a 20-minute player. I don't think that's fair on him.
So LB, you know, the midfield situation, what you mentioned, players going. Who have you got going in your midfield? Was it Kovacic, Gundogan, and
Yeah,
Bernardo?
I'll pull it up on screen right now. Yeah, Martin, will you bring that up?
Yeah,
can you see it? Can you see it, Elliot? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
that's my. Like I say, I
1080 HP. Could you not have gone 1080? 1080?
I would be open to the idea of potentially loading Echeverri and keeping Bernardo, but that's it. That's the only change I'd be willing to make. Nothing else.
So, do you honestly think he will let go of Gundogan and Kovacic?
So if you don't let rid of Gundogan and Kovacic, who else gets let go?
Well, for me personally, I think it's out of one of them 3. So it's out of Gundogan, Kovacic, and Bernardo. I think he'll get rid of one of them. I think he'll keep the other 2, and then I think he'll get rid of Grealish. And I think I've got a feeling Doku won't be here come next season.
I don't. So you'd have to get rid of Doku in your situation because I've already got. Remember, this squad here on the left is 23 players. That's the number that Pep didn't speak when he said this is the squad. So I've gone on the basis that Pep doesn't want more than 23.
Can you take that down? I don't know where you're at. Where you're at with the purple bit?
The purple bit. The purple bit's the attackers. It's just
Doku.
Doku's underneath. You got Marmoush, Bob, Doku. That's it. You got under Marmoush. You got Bob, Doku. That completes the 23. So if you want to take more players from the right hand side column on the cell and put them in the left, you've got to take players out on the left. Simple. That's what Pep said.
See, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Bernardo will stay.
Okay, so what? So Echeverri gets loaned.
No, I wouldn't loan him.
So okay, so who? What happens then? Who goes?
For me, if I was to do this list, for me, I would personally say 3 goalkeepers could possibly go. That's including obviously Scott Carson. Obviously, me and Martin mentioned. I don't know what have you got in? Have you got a Casper? Is that Kasper Schmeichel?
Yeah, but for the purposes of the numbers, it's irrelevant who's who we've got in there. I've got Costa, I'll take it, Casper, but it's so you saying he's going to go 2 goalkeepers, 1 academy goalkeeper?
Yeah, I know what I think he'll do is I think he'll go. Is it Spike? Is that his name? I believe.
Spike Briggs.
Yeah, that's the one. Sorry, yeah. So I think he will probably come in for Carson. I think he'll possibly look at.
Let's start.
The problem is though with that, Elliot. Let me just say something on that. That doesn't solve the problem of Pep having to leave players at home, because you still got too many players in the outfield section, and he's still got players at home.
Yes, but what I'm saying, Nelby, I don't think obviously if it's just say it's Scott Costa for argument's sake, even though he might probably not be here, he will not obviously be included in the obviously actual match day squad, will he?
No, but that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, if you swap Carson out for Spike Brits, yeah, Spike Brits will be left at home, but then you've added another outfield player, yeah, which means you're still going to have to leave that outfield player at home, which defeats the whole purpose of the exercise, because Pep says he doesn't want to do that.
No,
Pep's not asked about leaving Scott Carson at home or Spike Brits at home. He's asked about leaving legit outfield players at home. So if you get rid of your third choice goalkeeper and add an outfield player in,
I'm not really replacing Doku. For me, that'd be like an Echeverri on like an actual in your squad, because for me, I don't think we need I don't know what the question for me. What I'd ask is, what are we signing another winger for if we're not going to play with wingers? If we've already got two, if we've already got Oscar Bob and Savinho, which Savinho's clearly been proven that he's better off the left than he is the right, I think we can all agree on that. His best performances this season have come off the left.
Yeah.
Oscar Bob off the right. I don't understand as to why we need another winger to just sit on the bench, because sure, that's just the same energy as like a Jack Grealish. If a Jack Grealish comes on, he's going to go on the left wing. He's not going to go in the middle.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, that's
for me, I just don't think. I think we're just signing a winger for the sake of signing a winger at the minute. I'd rather sign an actual, or LB, to your point earlier on, I'd rather sign another actual wing back who maybe is like a little bit of a backup, or a young lad who can come through, instead of getting another winger who
I would
is going to
rather
be a bit relevant.
Or potentially a younger midfielder, or using O'Reilly even in there. Because what I don't want to see, Elliot, is O'Reilly disappear on loan because he can't get in the team.
Yeah.
I'd rather see that than, like you say, go and bang 50, 60 mil on a winger who he's going to, we all know, 12, 18 months down the road is going to be surplus to requirements. Because unless Pep has a dramatic 180, direct wingers are not going to work in Pep Guardiola's world.
Yeah, I'm speaking now. Do you know what I mean? I'm speaking at this minute in time.
I know we don't want to do it, but it is. That's Pep at the minute.
So,
Pep needs to do a 180.
All right, so Elliot, so what would you do on it? So you're only allowed 23. I'm not having the two goalkeepers, one.
A few
academy.
people are selling a kanji here, LB. There's a lot of people chucking a kanji about.
So, Elliot, what would you do, bro?
So Stones, Ake, or Akanji, gone. One of them.
So Stones, that's chill.
Yeah, so say Stones, right? I wouldn't get another centre because I think Kusanov and I could suppose you could. I suppose what we're doing with academy players here, I would sold McAtee and obviously
McAtee's on the sell list, yeah.
Right. So I wouldn't be against selling Rico Lewis either, by the way. If the right offer come in, I will get rid of Rico Lewis. I'm happy with the centre half choice. I think ultimately we've got Diaz, Guardiola.
Do you agree with me, Elliot, that we need 5 centre backs going into next season?
So who would I keep? Keep Diaz, Guardiola, Ake or Stones or Akanji, whichever one. Obviously, you want to class as there.
And
and Kusanov,
yeah. You can't have 4. You can't have 4, man.
No.
Especially if one of those 4's Ake, you can't do that.
Yeah, well, personally for me, I would write off Guardiola as an actual left back. I would play him centre half. I think that's where he's best.
Same. That's what I've got him as. I've got him as a centre half.
Yeah. Then into midfield, obviously.
Rico hate come from? Everyone's selling Rico. And
it's not Rico. It's not Rico. I just don't think he's good enough for what we need. If we're gonna
play, he ain't gonna play. That's
yeah. Especially if these wing backs, Martin. If anything, he's going to play midfield, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Rico's not going to get in the team next year.
With the amount of you are
exactly, which is why you got to sell him, and you get a good. I think you'll get a good price from him. I've got 30 mil down on my sell list for Rico.
You know, he turned down nearly 50? I read somewhere from Brighton last summer.
Surely it wasn't 50 mil. No way.
It was getting onto a decent amount.
I reckon it probably would have been.
Was it the year before we turned a massive fee down for McAtee?
I'm not sure.
Back from Brighton. No,
yeah.
Brighton,
it does make you think of why didn't we take these fees when we had them at the time?
So go on then, Elliot. What else?
Yeah. So obviously midfield, I would go Rodri, Nico, Jig, Reijnders. Obviously, classing Reijnders as a signing. Foden. Muggies White seemed like it's happening. Echeverri would be in there for me. And then obviously you've got Mamouche, Arlen, Bob, and Savinho.
Right. So you wouldn't sell anyone else that's on my sell list. You would. So you agree with me?
So what have
basically?
you got? Yeah. So what have you got on the? Yeah. So obviously you've got one of so obviously Stones, Vitesse, Kyle Walker, KDB, Grealish. Obviously, I think So I think out of Gundogan, Kovacic, and Bernard, I think one of them will be sold. But I'm not sure if he's going to keep two or just keep one. The only thing that's making me think with Gundogan is, do you know this? I don't know when he said about oh, I don't want to be squad if, so I'll quit. Is this because he's leaving players at home?
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, right. So what I'm going to say then is,
Oh, no,
so what I'm going to say then, because you're not making an agreement with Gundogan and say to him, look, obviously you will probably play not obviously as big games, but you Carabao Cup games, your FA Cup games. You're probably not going to travel on a match day. Could you keep him as like an extra number on top of what he said? Because let's be honest, we're all going to get injuries again, aren't we?
Of course. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So could you not just could Pep just not go for argument's sake, right, I'm just going to go one extra player than what I've actually said, just in case this happens? And I think that player could possibly, I'm just more thinking LB, and I don't know if you agree on this, I think going to be happier sitting on the bench than what Kovacic would after this, especially after this season.
Yeah, probably.
Kovacic
Kovacic is only 30, isn't it? So, like, Kovacic still has 3 or 4 years at the top level. Gundogan might just be like, yo, I'm happy in Manchester. I'll just chill. If he leaves me at home, he leaves me at home. I'll help coaching. I get all my coaching badges and shit. Maybe Gundogan will stay, but out of the three, he's the one that's least deserving of staying out of the three for me. So, it is what it is, man. But
yeah. Like I said, personally, I would get, like I said, I would personally get rid of Doku when that's not an agenda on Doku. I just think ultimately, if we're not going to play with wingers, then what's the point in having him? Is it just an extra body what we don't need? And like I said, I'm much obviously an Echeverri, and that's not me. Before Martin jumps in, me loving for Echeverri. That's just more the fact of he suits this system way better than a Doku at the minute.
You're his agent. You and
No, but you tell me.
No,
but Mark, you tell me that he doesn't fit this system currently better than Doku or Savinho.
Yeah, no, of course he does. Of course he does. I'm only joking. By the way, there are some more quotes coming out as we speak on Pep Guardiola. He said, "Oh, where is it here?" He's basically told the whole media, and I can find it. I'll get the exact quote. Is Phil Foden is going to rest this summer. I think that is now been confirmed. He's going to rest. He said, I'm not going to tell you how many people are leaving. It could be 4 or 5, even more. I'm not going to tell you today and how many people are coming in. I honestly think when Sunday finishes, I think we're going to start hitting the market.
Well, we have to.
I expect 3 players in before we go to the Club World Cup.
I agree.
Now, Wake Up News has said if you think you're getting MGW on a cheap thing again, our owner said 100 mil. I doubt that because is it Tom Colosimo? He's like their version of Jack Gorn for the Mail.
You've got to remember. You've got to remember. No, the players can ultimately push for the move. We've seen that with Nunes. Do you know what I mean? And end of the day, I think
2 years left in his contract.
Yeah, that's what I mean. LB, for me, this is like I said the other day. This is a done deal. This for me.
He said he'll be in the pre-squad.
And let's not act like 60, 70 million is not already overpay for Morgan Gibbs White anyway. Because it is.
In today's market, when they spent 42 and there's a 10%
yeah, but that was an overpay. That was an overpay, bro. When they paid that much money there, everyone was like, what the fuck are they doing?
Are you trying to get players for 20 million?
No, but I'm saying Morgan Gibbs White's a £50 million player with English taxes, a £70 million player, max.
No, I doubt that. I disagree.
So you're not paying over 70 million quid for Morgan Gibbs White. How much do you think he's worth?
The Nottingham Forest captain.
How much do you think he's worth?
About
Kyle Walker was City captain. How much that make him worth?
70.
Yeah, I've just said that. I just said he's worth 60, 70 with English tax.
No, I think he's worth that anyway as a player. I think he's a decent player. I think there's a lot going to be shot by him next year.
Maybe. We'll see.
But we'll see.
I think it suits the system. I do think it suits the system at the minute, but
Doku won't. I disagree with that. I don't think he will thrive with overlapping fullbacks because then the overlapping fullbacks are doing the Doku work. Doku can't come inside. That's the problem. He's struggling to invert. That's what Pep said himself.
Yeah, Doku. I predict Doku will have one more season and be sold next year. I reckon.
Where are you at with this goalie? What's it called? Oh, there is a name, by the way, LB. I know you spoke about it. While I've got it in my head, let me get it up. I want to make sure I say this guy's name correctly. That has now been confirmed. Pep has asked him to go on the list. Mauricio Carizio, a 19-year-old from Ballas Stansfield.
Carizio, come on. My fucking Argentinian
Someone
ballers.
has asked to be kept informed about.
Yeah, man. Listen, I told people, mate, every year, just go and get one of these Argentinian dons, mate. Yeah, because they're absolute ballers. Carizio had a good Sudamericano tournament. Yeah, good player. Like him. Not as exciting as Echeverry. Not as exciting as Mastantuono, but he's a good player. Probably a CFG side. Right? Stinks of Girona, bro.
MGW has 7 goals and it's midfield. Guardiola has 5. Yeah, but you could say that about Bernardo, then, mate. And all that. Come on. Just say how it is. He's awful technically. Who you on about?
Doku.
Oh, Doku, right. Sorry. The system suits the inside wingers who play, yeah. And that's where I think Bob will come in. Echeverri, I mean, everyone's loving a bit of Echeverri. I guess we'll see. I do think, like I said, John Stones will leave. I think I wouldn't sell Stones and Akanji. I wouldn't sell 2 experienced centre-backs.
I agree.
What's happening with Kusanov then, Martin, for you? What's your plans for him?
I think Kusanov will be a centre-back next season. He'll be rotated in and out of the team.
I think he's the direct competition for Diaz, because at the moment I don't think Diaz is guaranteed to be starting for this football club. I think it's him and Diaz, which is why for the Club World Cup I'd be starting Huzanov to see what he's about, man. And if he plays well, I'll start the season with Guardiola and Huzanov and drop Diaz. I don't think Diaz has been great for the last 2 years. So give Huzanov a chance and say, let's see what we're doing. Let's see if he's good enough to be the number 1 centre-back with him and Gavardio. I think him and Gavardio, mate, could be naughty. Could be naughty work.
I know he's a left back. Wesley's a right back. But Rodri in front, yeah. No, I can see it. Could see it. Where you at with Victor Hayes? Victor Hayes, are we keeping him? I know you loaned him on yours.
Yeah, I got him loaned.
I think I'd possibly loan him, you know. I wouldn't. Where would I loan him to, though? I don't know where I'd loan him to. I remember somewhere like Spain, somewhere like that.
So then surely you need to buy a centre-back then?
No, you got 5.
No, I've just got 5.
Well, I'm going to...
Gavardio, Ake, Huzanov, Diaz, Akanji, 5.
Right, same again. Kusanov, Diaz, Gavardio.
Ake, Akanji.
Ake, Akanji.
That's more than enough.
Ake and Akanji can get injured a lot.
Right.
So then you're down to 3.
You can't have 6 centre-backs.
No, you don't need 6 centre-backs.
Oh, keep Simpson Pusey as a 6th choice centre-back.
Simpson Pusey's going. He's going to be sold this
Well,
summer.
maybe you will, but you don't need 6 centre-backs. If you need 6 centre-backs, that means you really don't trust players to stay fit. In which case,
I don't trust some.
Tell them, let's sell Akanji and sell Ake, then and buy some more players, because we can't be having 6 centre-backs, Martin.
I'll say you do. Jan said. Spoke on.
I don't think we have centre-backs.
What's happening with Juma Bar?
He's going back to Lens, isn't it? Did you not see his Instagram post?
No, I didn't see it, mate. No, I'm not.
He basically said his agent's already talking, and he basically wants to go back to Lens.
I'd go and get my Gay. That's what I'd do.
No, because he wants to be starting centre half, Martin. So who are you dropping?
You need to drop Gavardio.
I don't think anyone's a starting centre half at Manchester City.
Gavardio is.
I think Guardiola
is.
We're not Crystal Palace.
What do you mean we're not Crystal Palace?
At Crystal Palace, Mike Gay can say I start every week. At Manchester City, mate, you're not. Do you think Huyson's going to Real Madrid saying
no? Gavardio,
hold on then, Martin. Because you use different energy then for that, because you always argue back when people mention about midfielders, and you always say, "Well, where's he going to play?" You use the same energy for Wirtz when people said about Wirtz. You were going, "Where's Foden going to play?"
Yeah, because I'm not having Foden slander.
Yeah, that's
Gavardio is a starting centre back. For me, going into next season, he's the only starting centre back that I've got in the current team. In fact, he's the only starting defender I don't know my left back. I don't know my right-sided centre back, and I don't know my right back.
I don't think Pep will drop Diaz, LB.
Well, I think he should. I think he should try Kuzanov and see what he's saying. I think Diaz has been poor for 2 years now.
Hey, listen, I don't mind me mustard. I admit, I sit here, I have a massive pro Foden agenda. Phil Foden is my boy. Sorry, he is. Like Rich's is Johnny Stones, and mine is Phil Foden.
The thing is with Kusanov is I think he's proved to LB's actual point on that. I do think he has proved that he is good enough actually to probably play alongside a Guardiola, and they're both pretty young, so you've got them for like many years to come. I'm not saying Diaz is old because obviously he's not, but I do think that would be a pretty decent partnership, to be honest, especially if you're playing with wing backs, because like I say, you need someone to cover pace wise.
That's my point. LB not yet. I don't think he can start that many at full 90 minutes. Not in 90 minutes.
Yeah, but you don't need to because you got Ake and Akanji.
Well, if we're selling 2 or 3, if you're going to loan Big Tays and sell Stones and sell someone that says sell a Kanji, then we need to buy someone.
No, I agree, but that's why you don't sell Akanji. You keep him as your 5th choice. I think that's more than enough. More than enough.
Apparently, yeah, that's what someone said. They're still looking at stuff. They can be asshole when it's such a weird one because that's changing constantly at the minute.
He's had 5 injuries this year. Just
sometimes it's an injury. Next minute it's the fee. I don't know. It does seem we seem to be moving away from him. How many injuries did you say that?
He's had 5 injuries. He's had an ankle sprain, ankle problem, stress reaction of the bone, unknown injury, and a hamstring injury. That's this season alone.
Jesus.
So
sounds
maybe
like
City of
that. Right?
Okay.
Jesus. Yeah, I understand my City a bit to be fruity now on that one. But we'll see. Anything else you want to talk about in terms of?
Are you getting rid of? Are you getting rid of Bernardo, by the way, in your team, or are you keeping Bernardo?
I'm keeping Bernardo. I would rather sell Gundogan than Bernardo if I had to. If I was forced into a decision, I think Bernardo, as we saw on Tuesday night, when he wants to, Bernardo has still got it in the locker. Tuesday night was the old.
So who are you getting? Who are you getting rid of then?
It got made to Gundogan.
But I've already got him on the sell list. So who else? He's already on the sell list. So who else are you getting rid of?
Jesus, Kovacic, Gundo, McAtee.
He's on the sell list. Who else you getting rid of?
That's it. I don't think you need any more then. How many are you selling here?
So now, yeah, but now you got 24 players, and that was Pep said 24. You don't want 24 players. That's what I'm saying. So you need to get down to 23.
All right, well, then this is where you get. Do you want O'Reilly as the backup midfielder? Or
I've got O'Reilly, and literally, if O'Reilly ain't, bro, O'Reilly's got to be part of the main squad this year as a main genuine option. Otherwise, just sell him, cash in on him. What's the point in keeping a player that you're never going to play? So either sell him and get some decent cash for him this summer. You get 30 million for this guy, yeah, or you've got to play him. There's no point in having him in this weird. We'll keep him. Like, I think people are too scared to make decisions. I'll be real with you, man. I think some of our fans are too scared. No, not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm saying some of our fans, because some people want to have the cake and eat it. They don't want to sell Nico O'Reilly, yeah? But then say, right, so you're going to play him properly next year. He's going to be a proper part of the team. You're happy to play him in midfield going into next season in certain games. Oh, no, not quite ready for that. No, because you want your cake and eat it. You're not prepared to sell him in case he goes on and does a Cole Palmer thing. But at the same time, you're not prepared to play him in games. You can't do that. You've either got to have the courage and the belief in the player to say he is good enough to play games this season. And if the answer to that is no, sell him. What's the point? What's the point?
I totally agree with you.
For me, I think as well. I think Nico would be good with not Gundogan, Rodri. Sorry, next to him. Rodri, I think that could be a decent partnership, to be honest.
You know what it is? People have PTSD over so much now that they're so scared of what's coming. They're excited for the future. They're nervous about the future because of what's just happened this season. And what they're scared of is because now it looks like we're not going to sign superstar or big talent names, we're going to get that, what we always do, the next level down, or a youngster. There's that unknown now. So now
I don't know if it's that, Martin. I don't know if it's that because
rather than do that, there is a little bit of PTSD on things.
I don't know if it's that though, because people want a full send Echeverri in certain games. So I suppose
no. They do, Elliot, until it goes wrong. The first game we won Echeverri, people go, see, look, I told you Echeverri shouldn't have been in the team. He's too young.
Well, that's going to go wrong though, isn't it? Because he's not going to be able to play well in every single game. You tell me who's ever done that.
Facts. If you have a young player, you've got to accept sometimes they're going to be shit.
Yeah,
Nick O'Reilly's had some poor games. McAtee's had some poor games. Like, what are people expecting? Messi? Like, what we're doing here?
It's, Mamouche, it's weird because Mamouche has had some poor games and he's had some absolute raspers. You're going to get that with Big Taze. You're going to get that with Kushner. When you buy younger players, of course they're going to be nervous sometimes. Football is a sport that breeds confidence. If your confidence is low, doesn't matter what your ability is, for me. If you go in, it's like a test for me when you were at school or at university. You could have swatted, revised, you're blue in the face and you know it all. You go in that exam room and you shit yourself and you get brain fart. What'd you do? Could be the cleverest person going and you flunk it. Happens with players. And you've just got to accept it. If you want Echeverri, you have to accept that there's going to be games where he's like, oh, he's a bit arse.
Yeah.
Same with O'Reilly.
I accept that. I accept it with O'Reilly. I accept it with McAtee. And I accept it with Echeverri. I accept it.
Oscar Bob as well. Oscar Bob, remember, like say, Oscar Bob's not exactly old, is he? Do you know what I mean? Also, to be fair to the actual team, what you put on early on, LB, Oscar Bob actually fits in that system pretty well.
He does.
Especially like I say when he's played in that position in the academy.
Yeah, that's what I said, isn't it?
Wirtz, I will never forgive this board. How about don't forgive Florian Wirtz? The board they can't. Florian Wirtz does not want to come to Manchester City. You need to accept.
Well, yeah. Well, it depends on what you believe. If you believe the story that's been put out in the press, then RN is right. But I personally don't believe that story, which we spoke about that before. I think that's BS. I think he rejected us. So
they got rejected by Bellingham. Which business comes out and goes, we got turned down? No one does that.
Yeah, but I've already said that. Like, I don't understand why you can't just come out and say the player doesn't fancy it. But nah,
because you have sponsorships, you have all sorts of things, money involved.
Right, but you think these sponsorships don't know what's gone on?
Yes, but not publicly. You don't make it public.
But I'm saying, I don't think this cover story, if it is a cover story, is any better than Wirtz rejected us. In fact, I think it's worse because it makes absolutely no sense. Which is why I'm saying sometimes
because people know it was so transparent and see-through. People knew exactly what had gone on. That was the problem.
Which is why it makes no sense. Which is why I just think they should have just told the truth. That's just my opinion. If you don't agree, fairs. But I just think they should have just told the truth. Maybe they have. Maybe he hasn't rejected us, and this is what RN is saying. Maybe the story is legit. Maybe he didn't reject us. Maybe City just got to the end and went, you know what? We don't.
But they did try, Alf. Can we stop this? They didn't try. I don't get this. They haven't tried that.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Nobbins' conspiracy on this as well. I don't think Florian Wirtz is as needed in that position as other players are.
I do.
I don't. What? So who's more important than at this minute in time? LB an actual left sort of back left wing. Where at the minute what we're playing, or Florian Wirtz.
I think they're both just as important.
Not too sure.
I'd
rather have Guardiola at centre half, which we've just discussed where we put the best position is, and an actual left wing back to play there than actual Florian Wirtz, where we've got like you said, it's all if buts and maybes, but isn't anything. He's probably going to be as good as what he has been next season when he's after his ACL, because of the same thing about Foden. If Foden's anything off like he was last year, then all these people won't be saying anything about Wirtz, will they?
This is far, by the way, from Salah. Problem is, City fans think we're the number one team to join everyone else's shit.
Yeah, well, that's wild.
That is so true.
Yeah,
People need to realise that she's not a City fan. He's coming for other reasons than just that. People just need to understand. I got something the other day which was a bit intriguing. I got told he'd asked for more time in June. I got told he'd asked can you wait till June? And City went, we can't wait that long. That's too long. I suppose, I don't know. There's that many different stories about it. I don't know. Because that's the one I got the other day was City, Wirtz had asked for more time and City went, no, we're not giving you any more time.
Yeah.
I think Wirtz is playing some people, you know. I think he's playing a lot of people.
I don't think so. I just think he's just got a lot of options on the
What
table.
was the biggest criticism on Bellingham last season, Elliot and LB? What did most fans criticise us for?
Not having a backup.
No, taking too long on the deal, waiting too long.
I don't think that's a problem. I think the problem with the Bellingham deal was that we weren't working on deals in the background in case things didn't go our way. We were very arrogant and naive, and it was Bellingham or bust. Whereas this year, whilst we've been negotiating with Wirtz, we've been negotiating with AC Milan and Reijnders, we've been negotiating with Morgan Gibbs-White. So, in the event that the Wirtz deal broke down, which it has, we're not panicking, running around the Premier League, running around Europe, desperately trying to sign a player, which is what we did when we did it with Bellingham. So, in that sense, for me, you have to credit the board because they've learned from the error. They made an error when they chased Bellingham because they didn't do it in the right way, and it fucked us. And now they've done it this year, and they've learned because for me, they've clearly demonstrated that they are still actively looking at other players in that midfield, which they didn't do when we went for Bellingham, hence why we ended up with Matheus Nunes.
I'm just not sure. I said everyone's everyone's got their own opinions, you know what I mean? That's fair enough. But for me, I just don't think Wirtz is as bad as what people make out him not coming. I'd much rather get an actual full proper left back and an actual proper right back than actually get Florian Wirtz. Because maybe that's just me because I'm happy with Mamouche, Foden, Bob and Echeverri. Maybe that's just, like I say, that's preference, isn't it, I suppose. But
yeah, but the thing is, you're saying you would rather. We need both, bro.
No, I know we do. But what if you're doing it in order, like which position's most important? For me, that cam position would probably be last. And that's me being honest.
Maybe, but again, that is because you're forcing it into which is we need all of them. Because the way this squad has declined over the last 2 years, we are in desperate need of all of them. Not just, well, we'll get this one first, we'll get that one next year. No, we need to get them all now. Which is why we need 250, 300 mil.
Yeah, I think this is part of it. I think it's right. I think if Liverpool, everyone will go mad and blame the board. If it goes Bayern, they'll go, oh, well, it was always Bayern.
But does Wirtz not get a say in this? Does Wirtz not get a say in this, though?
This is my point, Elliot. People are talking like Florian Wirtz. Like
because hold on a minute then. So did McAllister not have a release clause in his contract just for Liverpool? Or have I?
Yeah.
Have I? So could you not say the same thing about that then? Why do we not go for McAllister? Well, the board probably may be news of it. I'm not saying Wirtz has got a release clause in Liverpool.
This is the point, Elliot. This is what someone said earlier on. City fans have got to stop thinking that Manchester City is the only option for every player.
I'll only be mad if he goes anywhere else if he didn't actually reject us. If we did actually pull out of the deal ourselves, then I think that's shambolic. But if he rejected us, fine, cool. The player, you can't force a player to sign for you. If the guy rejected us, he rejected us, cool.
This is what I mean. I think people are doing that.
I think if he did, this is why I think the story that the club put out is stupid. Because if the club did pull out of the deal, I think that is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, there's my thing with Blue. Listen, Wirtz is a very good player, but we are putting him in the messy category here, the way some are talking.
I think the problem is with Wirtz is Florian Wirtz has become what he's become because he's got the game time at Bayern Leverkusen and what he needed to become that. Same with Musiala, same with all these players. The thing with us is at the minute we're sort of we're not pushing him away, but we sort of, because of what's happened this season with Phil Foden, and we've just completely forgot about what happened last season. And listen, I'll be the first person to say Phil Foden has been nowhere near it this season, nowhere near it. And for me, it wouldn't even be included in the pre-season tour. It wouldn't be nowhere near that. It wouldn't be in the squad on Sunday. It would be nowhere near the. And I'm like I say, I'm sticking up for him here, but I do think sometimes we do forget what we've got, what's banging in front of us.
Well, I'm going to make a response to Alf here. He makes a great point, but he's forgotten something major here. We tried with Jude. Yeah, Bruno G was a release clause. They couldn't put the money on Alf. Again, you got to look at it that way. Declan Rice, we came in too late. We convinced Fabinho. When can we actually ask the board? Massive difference here, Alf. We've got something that people ignore, bury their head in the sand of. We've got 115 as well, Alf, at the minute. This is the part everyone is forgetting sometimes. And yes, I do think we'll be fine. But the trouble is, if it goes wrong, these players don't want to be involved. There's a big difference.
50% chance, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's the way it goes at the end of the day.
This is the problem, that everyone burying their head in the sand on this. We've not been found innocent yet. Come on. Can we? I think sometimes we just.
It's all right. This is all right until like a Netreveri goes somewhere else and rips it up, and then we all say, "Oh, why did we do that? Why did we do this?" The board are never going to win in this situation, and people can come after me in the comments. They can say what they want at the end of the day, but ultimately, what it is the board. The board have gone with a decision which they think's right. Now, like LB always says, we can always sit back and judge that, and we can turn around in 6 months' time, 7 months' time, and say that was a wrong decision, just like with the Cole Palmer situation. But at that time, I can't remember many people. I know there was a few, but I can't remember many people coming out saying that was a massive mistake, and nobody knew what Cole Palmer were going to go and do. And if we knew that, then we wouldn't have sold him.
Well, I wouldn't have sold him anyway. That was a stupid.
No, neither would I, LB. I'm in one of these. I wouldn't have sold him either. That's my thing on it. But I do get the other side of it from the board side of it, where like Morgan Rogers has gone on to do what he's gone to do, and nobody could see that, and people tell me that they could win Morgan Rogers in City Academy. But at
the same time, I'm always mad fair with this, and I say no one saw Morgan Rogers doing that from the academy. Whereas anyone who watched Cole Palmer in the academy is not surprised at what he's doing for Chelsea. That's why it's a difference. Anyone that says we shouldn't have sold Morgan Rogers, for me, is just waffling.
That's what I'm saying, LB. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, LB. That's my point.
Yeah, because by the way, I watched him with Girona. He was awful in that game. He said himself he wasn't ready. I mean, he's 115 really a big deal. To some it will be, yeah. To some it will be.
Yeah.
Because one thing City don't do is put release clauses in. City have not put a release clause in anyone for that. And you don't know. Bellingham might have said, "Oh, come on, what release clause if you get pinged." Say you've got to know. We don't know. This is the problem.
But if City said no, that means they're not sure that they're going to get not guilty.
But they might not. They might get a fine. We're all guessing.
No, but if Jude Bellingham said to City, "I want a release clause in there to say that if we get relegated, I can leave for 50 million." If City think they're not guilty, I would say yeah. So
the thing is, City are just going to stop as a business and not do anything.
No, I agree. But that's what I'm saying. City is saying they're not guilty. City is telling all the fans, "Don't worry, lads. We are 100% not guilty. This is not right. We've got all the evidence to prove that we're not guilty." Right? That's what they're telling the fans, us, and we're believing them because we support our football club, right? So if a player who's not supporting the club and has no association with City says, "Fairs, I know you're telling me you're not guilty, but I don't know because I don't know what's going on. Put a release clause in there. If you get kicked out of the Premier League, then I can leave at the same price you bought me, or a little bit less than what you bought me." If City know that they're going to get not guilty because they're not guilty and they've got the evidence, which is what they've told all the fans, why wouldn't you just put it in the contracts?
Could this be that the players just don't want to come? I just throw that out there.
No, they just don't want to play the Championship, bro.
Say again?
They don't want to play in the Championship.
No.
I mean like Wirtz. Yeah, I mean like Wirtz.
Like Zubermendi didn't want to come and play in the Northwest. London, I'm all right with it. That's another thing people don't get. Manchester or the northwest of England, the north of England, is not everyone.
Yeah, just because we live there. Yeah, just because we live there, don't mean that everybody else wants
just
to.
We all live in Manchester and we enjoy it, and it's happy
London
days,
tax,
it's sunshine.
London tax.
There's a reason I'm going to Tenerife on the weekend, because I'm going for a bit of sun.
Are you telling me Blackpool ain't rivals? No.
So LB, do you hear my point on the? So do you hear my point on the Echeverri thing? Like the thing of, if we don't give him time, then are we ever going to know if he is good enough and like give him that actual chance?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that applies to any player, right?
Oh yeah, of course it does. Yeah. I'm
to
just
give
saying.
Mahrez needed time. Yeah, Mahrez needed time. Sane needed time. All players need time. Yeah, but for some reason, when a player comes through the academy, if they don't perform straight away, the fans treat young players differently to new signings. When we sign new players, as a fan base, I actually think we're quite a good fan base in giving a player a year. Typically, we all say, give the player a year, we'll judge him in the second year. We've done it with Doku, which is why Doku's got a lot more criticism this year from some of the fans. And we've done it with Savio, saying he's done all right, next year's the year we're going to... I think we're quite good at that. For some reason, though, I don't think that translates to the academy players. If you look at James McAtee's had some good games. He's had some poor games. Yeah, half the fan base says he's not good enough. He's shit and needs to be sold. Yeah. And with Echeverri, I mean, it's like we spoke before, Elliot, and said he's going to have some poor games. Of course he's good. And it's like, are fans willing to accept that? I don't know why we treat new signings. But Echeverri's a weird one because he's sort of like a new signing, but also very young. So he's sort of like a bit of a crossover. But any player needs time, man. Especially under Pep. I think under Pep as well. Like, you've got to learn his system. You've got to learn his tactics and everything. And that takes time. It does.
Do you think Doku will stay then, LB? Or
I think Doku stays for one more year. And then if he doesn't work next year, I think he'll get sold. My prediction is that he won't work next year properly and he'll get sold next summer.
I agree.
That's what I think. Wow, what do you think? Do you think he's going this summer?
Yeah. I think there's a real possibility he does go this summer. Like I said before. How much are we getting for again? 50 million?
55 million.
55. This was probably now.
We have basically signed someone as well this week. Welcome to Shiny Reijnders. Not the Dutchman will be here. The Flying Dutchman. No, he's not a Flying Dutchman, is that?
What are you waffling about?
So what, right? I'm trying to get a bit of positivity in the mood. We've got Reijnders. Come on now. Unless he fails his medical. Reijnders. No.
But yeah, too soon. We've not even agreed a deal yet.
Of course we have. It's done.
Well, when we get the Here We Go, then we can do the stream.
You'll get the Here We Go probably early part next week.
Yeah.
How many signings do you reckon we'll get in LB before the Club World Cup?
Before the Club World Cup, I think I'm with Martin. I think 3.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. What do you think they'll be? If you had to have a guess.
Reijnders.
Yep.
Gibbs White.
Yep.
And
Wesley.
Wesley. Wesley.
Yeah. Agree. Yeah.
And I think the other full-back and goalkeeper will be done after the Club World Cup. I think Edison, if he goes, I think he'll want to play the Club World Cup. He could do one more.
Massive thank you to Showbetter. Thank you very much, mate, for that very generous super chat. Really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Why are we not going for Rodrigo? He's better than all our wingers. He
is better than all our wingers. And anyone who says he's not, come on.
Oh, no, I'd love Rodrigo. Sadly, I don't think we're going to do that.
I'd be up for it, bro. But the only thing is, bro, is like, are we going to play with wingers next year?
That's why I don't think we will. I think it's going to be down to wing backs.
I don't think we're going to play necessarily with wingers.
I'm a bit good about that, because I think Rodrigo would be pretty decent in our team.
Yeah,
I love Rodrigo. He is a player.
He's a good player. And if he goes Arsenal as well, and they get him, Gyökeres and Zubermendi, wow, that's a good starting 11.
See, everyone's proper giving me the 98% here because I've said Reijnders is tough.
You don't help yourself, bro.
No balls to it.
Does he chat? He doesn't help himself.
I got a text yesterday.
I got a text.
Done. I didn't even get a percentage. I just got done. I got the Netherlands flag, green tick, done.
Yeah, Martin shared the news. What you shared yesterday about the rag player. See what LB thinks.
Player?
You know one about
No,
the rag player.
I'm not doing Kobe Mainu. He'll go down like a balloon.
I actually rate him, me, Kobe Mainu. I think he's a
So
top
does Pep Guardiola, LB. Pep Guardiola really, really rates Kobe Mainu.
Yeah, I think Kobe Mainoo's a really good player. I called it when they got Amorim that he would not work in their system, so it's no surprise to me that there's rumors of him leaving. I think he'd be class at City. I think he'd be class under Pep. However, don't think we need him with the players that we signed and signings.
Pulpy's not a fan. Get out.
Yeah, but Pulpy just hates him because he's at United, which is fair dues, really. But he is a good player.
Yeah.
Conway did that last night in the space. He went, he's absolute shit. I said, why? He went, is he United?
He's not
player?
shit.
Oh,
yeah.
That's the end of that combo.
No, fair enough. I respect it if you're saying is that, but he's not a shit player. He's actually a good player. But I think if we didn't sign Nico Gonzalez, I think there'd be room to sign him. But now I've got Nico G. I don't think there's room. But I think under Pep Guardiola, I think he would cook, man. I can't lie.
With Omar Barada in charge, probably about 150.
Yeah, but hasn't he only got a year left on his deal?
Has I don't know. So let's have a look. Copy. Menu. Why does he not tell you? Absolute shit. They probably all said it in the chat before I could help. 2027. So he's got 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah, I'd take him for the right price. I don't know what the right price is like, but yeah.
Trouble is, Alf, it depends what you mean by right wingers. Again, like we've been saying for an hour, I think we're going to go with wing backs as wingers. I don't think we're going to play wingers. He's bang average. By the way, someone said, why are we not in for Ain't Nora? We are in for Ain't Nora. We are in for him. And if that McAtee stuff's true, well, tell you what, James McAtee's becoming a right little player in this market. He could get involved in everything.
Well, that's because everyone wants to take the gamble on him in case he's the next Palmer. If you're a football club in the Premier League and you've got 20 to 30 million just sat there and you're not really sure where to spend it, but you've got the availability, you just put it on McAtee because there's a chance he might become the next Palmer. That's what fans will do.
I don't know why it's breaking because we put a bid in last week, so I don't know where that came from. Yeah, that's true. Ain't Nora is there. We'll target 4 major signings this summer. Hugo has started working on 2 midfielders. We know who the 2 midfielders are.
Yeah.
Whether you like that or you don't like that.
Yeah, and it's plus goalkeeper.
Gibbs right. I think we've lost Ellie. Anyway, mate, we're going to wrap up because I'm going for my hairdo and a bit of trim.
All right, mate. Yeah, enjoy your holiday.
Intenso. Yeah. So this is the last one now for 9 days-ish. We'll be back Tuesday the 3rd. I want to say a massive thank you. By the way, big up again to FIFA who dropped 100 English in the pounds last night in the super chat. Big up to FIFA. Thank you so much again, mate. We really do appreciate that. And everyone who has been, but again, everyone who supported this year, Simon Sops, Amar, Showbarrow, thank you so much for your kind generosity. And everyone else for your kind generosity in being in the chat. I can't say there won't be a space next week. Because I did a space last night and everyone went, that's it, no space next week. And I went,
by the way, before we go, are City getting Champions League or not?
Yeah.
How? Are we winning, drawing? Are we losing? And someone else
will win tomorrow, and I'm telling you now, Alan's going to get 50 quid. Sunday. And just to let you all know, I am not going. I've given my ticket to my brother.
Boom! He's not going, chat. That's an easy W for the Blues. We will be playing Champions League next year.
I don't know where this has come from. This is BS from Alan.
Now, I appreciate you not going, man. Not fucking up our season. Big up, Martin.
I've been to shitloads of away games this
Nah,
year.
big up to you, mate. Yeah, we all lost them all as well. So big
No, we
up for not
didn't
going.
lose at West Ham. We didn't lose at Wolves. Didn't lose at Ipswich. We didn't lose at Wembley. The first away game you go to this year is the biggest L we've taken all season.
Yeah, but that's just because Pep done a madness, isn't it?
Because you kept it quiet, didn't you? About
That's
going to
just 'cause
Wembley.
That's just because Pep done a madness.
No, because you did a madness. The first away game you trot out to, we lose. So you're the bad luck charm. Stay and do your watch-alongs. Your days of being in the stadium are over. Stay in your studio.
Just don't touch grass anymore, no. I did enjoy it though. I can't lie, it was sick. Although that sun, mate, fuck me, I was struggling, me. I can't lie.
Hashtag no more watch-alongs, chat. He's giving it up.
Yeah, it was a good day though. I enjoyed it, man.
No, it was. It was a good day.
I tell you what though, yeah, where I was sat, it was just like the watch along chat. You got people, honestly, Martin, some people, yeah, some of the shit, because you get this thing that's like, oh, it's the online fans, it's the online fans. Well, that's a lot of bollocks, because where I was sat, some of the stuff that people were saying to Foden was absolutely insane.
It must have been your area because we were all supporting him.
Bro, where I was sat, it was horrendous. And I was sat 2 rows behind Big Steve.
Yeah, tell you when I was sat,
it was
I was
bad.
The 1894. You know where the tifo for
Oh yeah.
I was underneath that. I was
Now you was further down. I was up a little bit in that stand.
I was in 111 in the literal 1894 bit.
Hope he had it near him. He said he had it near him. Honestly, bro, I don't know what it was, mate. Maybe they had too many beers. Maybe it was the sun.
Came here in the cheap seats.
Bro, honestly, man, some of the people near me, shocking.
What are you doing in 512? Look at him here in the cheapy seats on the back row. Like, no, big up Pulper. Yeah, massive opium, mutant block. Aussie, what's Aussie put in? Thank God mine's not going. That's a win. Jesus Christ. Don't know where this has come from. Anyway, yeah, no, big up everyone. I'm only joking, Andrew, you know that. No, the big up to everyone for this season. We'll be back on Tuesday, the 9th, 3rd of June. I will do something space-wise because there will be signings next week. I do think we'll get Here We Go or 2. But yeah, we'll be back, obviously, as we're going through. But take care, all. And as always, up the Blues. You know where LB is. I'm not going to tell you all to go and do. You know where LB is. LB's buddy everywhere. By the way, before we go, tell Wolfer, yeah, going back to 17th next year and coming off all these shows.
Yeah. Well, we'll be cooking him. If he doesn't get Champions League, he's getting rinsed.
Tell Sam not to have that much chest like he was yesterday, because I've got a WhatsApp off for Sam saying Wirtz is going to Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
He doesn't even believe he's going to Liverpool. Have you got anything coming up, by the way, before you go?
Just a pizza in the oven, mate.
Ooh. There we go. Right, well, enjoy. Take care.